despite so much technologies, and there are many vendors here as well, how is it that we still have a lot of breaches? If you look at the number of technology that protects us on a daily basis in cybersecurity, it's a lot, tens of thousands. And the trend is just going up, right? More and more tools are coming up in the industry every day. And yet, as the number of tools increase, so does the number of breaches. Maybe now we detect it more, I don't know. But however you cut it, a study said no from in 2024 that 95%, more than 95% of security incidents are due to human error. So obviously this is, if you think about it, oh nga naman, yes, this can be true because humans are the end users. And then even if it's a machine to machine communication, humans also program these machines, right? So misconfiguration is always a culprit in terms of cybersecurity incidents, right? So it's still going back to humans. To my IT colleagues out there, this is your layer 8. So there are limitations in traditional training. I'm sure a lot of you look forward to those sessions, right? In your companies, wherein you have cybersecurity or information security training, right? So I'm sure you're very excited to attend those sessions, and then you look forward to it. But then again, this security awareness training often fails. Why? Because there's always a knowledge action gap. You get trained, then after that particular training, maybe 2 hours after the training, you already forgot about it just because you have other priorities. The half life of a security training, I would say, is like a few hours only, and then you'll just forget everything else. In fact, studies show little difference in phishing click rates between recently trained employees and untrained or new employees. So think about that. So are we sinking more and more of our pesos and dollars into training just for nothing? Maybe. So what we'd like to introduce here is the concept of priming. Priming offers a subtle and powerful way to shape behavior and bridge this knowledge action gap, right? So you learn something and then you need to apply it. And you need to apply it when it matters. So I'm showing here a picture of the Manila Cathedral. And I'm showing this just because I just want to uh, impart, I guess, especially to our non-Catholic participants here, that in the Philippines, most Catholics, when you're in a jeep, for example, or in a bus, you pass by a church, people will do the sign of the cross. Look at your Grab driver. When they pass by, they not only do this, they hold on to their rosary that's that hangs by their rear view mirror, right? So these are muscle memory. These have been ingrained in us, right? So this is what we need to talk about in terms of how do we prime ourselves to do better cybersecurity. So these are priming is just saying that you're being cued to do something. It could be your cup of coffee or your favorite, wake up music in the morning to just prime your brain into saying that it's time to work. Right? So it's just setting the mood, so to speak. So okay, we're always being told think before you click. It's as if we don't, but exactly we don't. It's because our actions are so automatic, right? And why is it automatic? Gen X, millennials, anybody knows this? Okay, you might have been caught, doing these things while at work, no? And then Windows mass introduced this concept of the UI, right? Even after Apple introduced it first. So what they did was to train your users to use the mouse. Let's have them play games, right? So Solitaire was built to teach us how to drag and drop, and then Minesweeper so that you can do left click, right click. So now you know, right? But then again, you probably went beyond that, and then spent a lot of time in terms of perfecting your craft in especially probably Minesweeper. So priming is a psychological phenomenon where exposure to one stimulus influences a response to a subsequent related stimulus, often unconsciously. So there are many types of priming, no? So some of these are here, and then you could just read through it. So there's conceptual, associative, repetition, semantic, perceptual again. Sorry, positive and negative priming and response priming. It's just associating things, right? So right now, if you're Filipino and if you lived in during the 80s, if I show you a picture of a cassette tape and a pencil, you know what it is, right? So this is you being primed to think that. So there are two systems of thinking, right? So according to David Kahneman. So there's system one is your fast and automatic thinking. System two is your slow and deliberate thinking. System one is what the hackers, the phishing people use to take advantage of your action, or the things that they'd like for you to do. So priming influences behavior at a pre-conscious level, making desired security actions more automatic or prompting deliberate consideration. So it influences decision making. It activates specific mental constructs, influencing responses, aligns with the ideomotor principle, thinking about a behavior can evoke its execution. And crucially, it can shift cognitive processing from automatic or system one to deliberate or complex threats like phishing. So it breaks your system one and says, wait, sandali lang. Think about what you're going to do, right? So there's also this nudge theory. Nudge theory uses gentle prompts or choice architecture to steer people towards better decisions without limiting freedom. Priming is a form of digital nudging, and I'll show a few examples in a bit, that reduces phishing susceptibility. Nudges interrupt automatic behaviors, prompting reflection and safer decisions. So the trick here, complement your training with these priming activities, right? Or priming techniques. Bring the learning closer to the process and to the user. So, and I'll show you a bit of examples in a bit. No? So, just in time training and timeliness. So, when it's about to happen, that's when you teach your user. So, for example, this is a device logon banner. Some of companies must be using this for to prompt people. You're now going to use company resources. External email banners. This is a from Microsoft Office 365, right? So it tells you that this is from an external resource, and it cautions you that it's originated from outside of your organization. Google has an authentication warning, so be careful with this message. Sender hasn't authenticated, etc. This message seems dangerous, so I'm sure you've seen some of these warnings from Google as well, Gmail. And then, even if it's a first time sender, they also warn you about it. So these are some of the prompts, some that prime you to be more wary about what you're about to do next. In Windows, uh, when you execute something, it asks you for permission, right? So most of the time, you just automatically click on yes, but that's what you want to do. However, the ideal prompt is that it should be asking you for username and password. So that gives you a little bit of pause before doing things or allowing things to happen. So in conclusion, priming's potential is psychological priming, especially through nudge theory, offers a powerful, subtle, and effective approach to bridge the knowledge action gap in cybersecurity. It moves beyond information dissemination to actively shape and reinforce secure habits, reducing human error and strengthening overall security. So a lot of these texts Please Google them because I just used Gemini this morning to produce all of these texts. No? So, what will I do different on Monday? So, on Monday, take a break tomorrow and then the weekend. What are your next steps? Have a plan in place. What do you need to do? Identify something that you need to improve. Determine your objectives. Do I need to reduce the click-through rate of people for my phishing attacks? Set performance metrics. Do I just measure the click-through rate, or do I measure things after they click through a link, right? Then execute it, maybe sometime in the near future, hopefully. Evaluate your performance, learn, and do it all over again. So this is the classic PDCA approach: plan, do, check, act. It's also called the Deming cycle. So you must be familiar with it. So thankfully, from my story a while ago, now there are tools that are in place, right? When you drive, for example, especially when I drive in the highway, I use Waze now with the speedometer, and now it prompts me with it primes me with a red color that tells me you're going over the speed limit, so I need to slow down. So in the past few years that I've been driving in NLEX, fortunately I haven't been I haven't been caught speeding because I do not speed anymore. I have learned my lesson just by the enforcer getting my license, going out of my way, trying to claim my license back by doing training, etc. So I have learned my lesson. So that type of learning should be the ones that we are imparting to our users, right? So that they never do, hopefully never do, things that will lead to breaches. All right. So that's the end of my presentation. Thank you very much.